Lewis Hamilton's statement that he does not expect to outqualify teammate George Russell for the rest of 2024, and the inference that something is affecting his performance, was a shocking subplot during the Monaco Grand Prix weekend. This also laid bare what's really going on within Mercedes. They seem set on helping Russell, creating a bigger gap between their loyal driver and the one that's leaving, which is now also causing a major public rift. Are they unintentionally, or worse, even intentionally creating an internal battle? Are they trying to get Russell above Hamilton so Mercedes fans will switch sides and support Russell more now that Hamilton is leaving? Or are they just unaware of the consequences of their choices? The shocking behaviour happened whilst Hamilton had led Mercedes' intra-team fight during all 3 practice sessions in Monaco, but Russell unexpectedly created a tiny but crucial lead in the 3 qualifying phases. Russell qualified ahead by less than a tenth, worth 2 spots on the grid, and so in the race given the same starting order, extending his Saturday lead over Hamilton to 7, 1 in 2024. Hamilton then made a series of negative post-qualifying comments in Monaco. He said, "I don't know if it's a turn down or something, but performance comes away from my car for some reason." And when asked by if it was the same frustration of Mercedes losing competitiveness relative to the other teams, Hamilton replied, "I expect it now. Every time I get to qualifying, I already know that I'm going to lose a couple of tenths." Hamilton meant, in the context of earlier responses, that he loses not only to Russell but also to the opposition. Hamilton told Sky Sports F1 that, "I don't anticipate being ahead of George in qualifying this year," and when asked why, he said, "We'll see." That was the most obvious Russell reference of all Hamilton had to say. Between it and the turn-down statement, it was widely assumed that Hamilton feels that he is being held in some way. Hamilton is leaving Mercedes at the conclusion of the year to join Ferrari, while Russell is seen as the team's future. And it's looking like this is causing an unwanted rift within the Mercedes team. After the Grand Prix on Sunday, Hamilton declined to clarify his post-qualifying comments and appeared to distance himself from their interpretation. "I mean, I don't know," he said. "Ultimately, I just try and give my all every weekend and push and give everything for this team. And I'm really so happy to see the teams bringing upgrades and looking forward to see the last 3 races we've had upgrades this weekend. George's one was a positive as well. So, I'll get that next week, and hopefully over the next few races we have some more and we can continue to push and try and close that gap." That gave the impression that Hamilton didn't want to add fuel to the fire, and that he was aware that his post-qualifying statements, which are somewhat fed by adrenaline given how close to the session drivers talk to the media, conveyed something that was not a real issue. Hamilton would not be the first to succumb to competitive paranoia, and the simplest explanation for what happened on Saturday in Monaco is that Russell had a faster car spec due to having the new front wing first, and then pieced it together after possibly underperforming relative to Hamilton in practice. It would make little sense for Mercedes to aggressively support one driver while battling for nothing in 2024, let alone intentionally push back another. And Mercedes team leader Toto Wolff said after the race that Hamilton's comments were understandable and reflected a competitive attitude. Although it was later revealed that Hamilton had declined the opportunity to run the wing because he did not want to risk a pit lane start if it was damaged during qualifying, the 7-time champion's comments about Russell having the advantage hinted at some concern that things were not completely even between them. Wolff claims that this is an unrealistic proposition. He argues that in the current age of Formula 1, Mercedes has only intervened to influence a duel amongst teammates once, during the 2016 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. This was when Hamilton attempted to back Nico Rosberg into the pack during their title race, and was frequently pushed by the pit wall to pick up his pace. When asked if Hamilton's remarks regarding Russell were a hint that there was some concern that he was not being treated fairly since he was departing at the end of the year, Wolff responded, "Aren't all drivers skeptical at times? I think as a team we have demonstrated even in the most tense competitions between teammates that we are trying to always balance it right and be transparent and fair. I think there was not a moment, apart from the 2016 Abu Dhabi GP, where we tried to manage a race, and we haven't done since then. I can understand that as a driver, you want the best out of yourself and the team, and sometimes when it's going against you, you can question. But as a team, we are 100% on a mission of giving the 2 drivers 2 great cars, the best possible cars and best possible strategies and support." Hamilton's relationship with the team was in the limelight during the Monaco weekend, as he questioned the team's actions on several occasions. There was his "I told you guys" message about needing to take the Monaco restart on mediums due to the team's original difficult decision, and then the miscommunication that resulted in him not pushing to the utmost on his outlap from a tyre change to undercut Max Verstappen. Wolff said that system conflicts were just a result of everyone striving to do their best in challenging conditions. We're trying to do the best out of the relationship and trying to maximise the results for what is the final season. And like always between drivers, it can be tense at times because everybody wants to do the best. And while Russell has out-qualified Hamilton 7 times to 1 this season, Wolff does not believe it will continue throughout the season. "I don't think there is a specific explanation for the statistic, but it's still a statistic," he said. "We are 7 races in and there are another 17 to go. I've not seen this as a trend." Both Hamilton and Russell will receive the new Mercedes front wing for the next race in Canada as part of the German manufacturer's upgrade campaign. Wolff also accepted that things sometimes get tense between drivers and teams, but does not feel this is unique to Hamilton's situation. He is departing at the end of the year, and emphasised that, "We're trying to get the best out of the relationship." However, Wolff confessed that Mercedes had let Hamilton down in Monaco when it came to communication during the race's vital pit stop phase. Russell, Max Verstappen and Hamilton alternated between 5th, 6th and 7th place throughout the race as Mercedes took advantage of a rare opportunity to defeat Red Bull in 2024. However, if Hamilton had been notified that his outlap was important rather than routine, he could have been able to overtake Verstappen. "That was a miscommunication first between us on the pit wall, that got it wrong," Wolff added. "It should have been an outlap critical, try to undercut. But then there was a debate if any lap would be enough on the new tyres, so the message he got was, at best confusing, but probably wrong." In summary, the wrong message to Lewis and the team's fault. This still didn't really let the people know why Hamilton was quote-unquote left behind by Mercedes. But after the weekend, Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin stated that a meeting between Lewis Hamilton and George Russell resulted in the latter receiving the team's only modified front wing at Monaco during the weekend. "We are looking to have race quantities of that wing in Montreal, and normally you would say race quantities is at least 3 because you have got 1 for each car and then you have got a spare available should anything happen," Shovlin stated in Mercedes post-Monaco debrief. "We do not make 3 in one go, we make the first, then the second, then the third." An upshot of that was that we had 1 that we could bring to Monaco and have it ready for Friday to do the weekend. A while ago, the drivers asked why we always wait until we have got a full set. Why not just let one of us run it? We agreed with them that given the situation with the team in terms of performance, we need to improve, and we need to learn. It is quite good to have different specs on the car to do that. We did agree with the drivers that where we are now, we will be happy to bring one to the track, and they were both happy with that. The difficult question was, how do we decide who was going to run it? But Lewis said, "If we are going to start doing this where we have not got enough parts, let George run it in Monaco. There will be races in the future where we have a single update and of course we just alternate from here on in." But Lewis made that decision quite simple for us. So, in the end, it looks like Hamilton himself gave up the chance to get the upgrade, and according to his own words, it could be that he'll give up first priority for the remainder of the season. At least that would explain why he expects Russell to be in front on Saturdays. This, or the car, just suits Russell better. What do you think? Will things get worse for Hamilton at Mercedes now that his mind is already out of the door? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.